Hi, my name is Frank Schaeffer. I am a writer and a commentator and came from an evangelical background, which I fled many years ago. For the last 30 years or so, have been a progressive activist, a novelist, and a writer of literary nonfiction, sometimes commentator on various media. But today, I want to say something very clearly, and I want to speak plainly, and that is I am a supporter of President Joe Biden. I have been a supporter of his for a long time, and I cannot tell you how deeply grateful I am as an American citizen, as the father of a U.S. Marine who served in Afghanistan and made his family proud, as someone who has followed American history and has known some of our leaders, including Gerald Ford, both Presidents Bush 1 and 2, as someone who comes from a political family that has spanned the right to the left and made a journey. I have known people in power. One of my best friends as a younger man was Jack Kemp, the congressman who ran as a candidate for the vice presidency with Bob Dole. I have great affection for many of the Republicans that I knew in the past that were so different than Trump's Republican Party today. That's the context of what I want to say now. And that is, I have never admired one of our leaders more than I admire President Joe Biden. Listen a minute. Has there ever been a president in American history, with the possible exception of President Lincoln and Franklin Roosevelt, that has been dealt a hand as heavy and difficult and complicated as President Biden has been dealt? Think about it. This is the president that took over the chaos left by the fraudster, con artist Donald Trump, who not only left the country mired in problems, but was put into power partially by Vladimir Putin, and who is still supported by evangelicals that even today question the fair election which he lost, and were part of the storming of the Capitol building. On the heels of an insurrection with the smoke barely cleared from our Capitol, the urine and the feces spread on the Capitol floors by the vermin that stormed it, President Biden took over. He took over in the midst of the worst pandemic health crisis the United States has ever faced in its history. He took over a divided country with a shattered economy from the COVID years. He has rebuilt that country. He has initiated programs that bailed out many, many poor children and set us back on our feet again. As if all that wasn't enough, in the middle of this, Vladimir Putin, who backed Donald Trump and who Donald Trump was a sympathetic supporter of, and even today, with his shills like Tucker Carlson on Fox News, is still supporting obliquely against his own country. President Biden has dealt with this valorously, with all the knowledge and his experience being put to the service of our country, leading the West in its response to this unprecedented attack on a peaceful, democratic country. And even today, facing the right wing in America that is trying to somehow get something good out of this for the Republican Party, having been the very people who backed Donald Trump, who did nothing with President Zelensky except tried to blackmail him into giving him political dirt on the Biden family to help him win an election, which then he went on and lost. I want to say it again. President Biden is handling the hardest deck dealt to an American president in my 70 years of life. One has to go back to Abraham Lincoln to find anything comparable. You know, we all talk about prayers and hopes and wishes and everything, and often this is just hyperbole, but genuinely, my prayers are with President Biden and his family as he tries to lead us through this torturous moment of American history of crisis. Thank you, President Biden, for your sanity. Thank you for banning the import of Russian oil, though you know the Republicans are going to lie and somehow start blaming you for the prices going up at the pump, as if this is your fault, when instead you are a man of principle and have put the good of our country and Western civilization ahead of political calculation. One can only imagine what Donald Trump would be doing at this time. So thank you for hanging in there with us. Thank you for defending us. And I call on Democrats and Republicans alike, support our president. Thank you. My name is Frank Schaeffer.